Good morning and welcome to our webinar today, brought to you from live from Cardiff Bay, actually on the eve of the NATO summit. So the roads are quite chaotic out there this morning. The webinar been put together by myself and Bruce Campbell and Hotel Logics. And Hotel Logics is a very sophisticated PMS system. We thought we'd talk today about the new rules facing UK hotels and how to survive and thrive in what looks to be a rising economy, and I'm sure many of us who are in the business would really appreciate it. My name is Jerry Wilkinson. I've been a hotel owner probably for the last 10 years. Prior to that I ran a software company. I'm joined by Bruce Campbell. Bruce is the managing director of ADMAS, and we've been working together on and off for probably about the last 8 years. So, 3 topics we're going to cover today. Just to have a quick roundup of the economic forecast for UK hotels. This really sets the scene for a couple of approaches to improving your overall RevPAR and ADR, average daily rates. And then we're going to finish with just a view of a roadmap, and maybe it's time to consider change, and if it is, how would one go about doing that? So, business outlook. Well, isn't it good news? This is a slide that we took from Christie's estate agents. Christie's are one of the biggest hotel commercial estate agents in the country, and what it's showing is probably something that we already know, is that hotel valuations have been in free fall since 2007, particularly so if you're out in the regions. I happened to be talking to a sales director from a very large hotel just outside of Gatwick, and I was saying, how have you found this recession? And the comment was, well, actually, we haven't. Business has just been as usual. But certainly, many hotels have had a disastrous period of time. And over the years, we have as well. We've taken steps to recover the situation. However, the point is that the economy is starting to move, and as a result of that, we are starting to see more business coming through the door. The effects of the recession, though, have created quite an interesting model for valuations. And, whereas at one stage one might have taken into consideration the built asset as well as the profitability of an organisation, it seems to me that now the focus is really on the profitability. And in actual fact, if you have a large property which needs a lot of maintenance, then that works against you from a valuation point of view. And I know many hoteliers find this very distressing, having invested huge amounts of money in particular property. However, the point of it is that profitability is king. We need to make sure that we're maximising our profitability in the best possible way, not by cutting corners on all way on breakfast and evening meals and things. Getting the right margins for those type of activities, but getting more business in and making more use of the facilities that are available. So, just a look at what Price Waterhouse are saying. Well, they're saying that occupancy rates are up, particularly in the regions. So 71% in the regions, 82% in London. Where we're based in Wales, our occupancy rate hasn't been as high as that over the years. We're probably at about 60, I would say. But a distinct improvement. Average daily rates 59.40 in the regions, 138 in London. Again, increases across the board there. I haven't seen as those average daily rates for some time. We've been running all kinds of different deals in order to get people through the door. But for the first time this summer, I started to draw back and start to put the rates up to the proper level. But it's hard to claw back. Right-hand side of the screen, revenue per available room, RevPAR, an essential metrics for any hotel running a business today. It gives you a real good idea of how your business is doing. Particularly useful to benchmark it month on month. In the regions, 42.40, in London, 112.80. A staggering difference really. But nevertheless, again, in our case, we don't see them quite as high as that. But we're striving to get there. Room supply up across the board, and particularly in the London area. So 2% increase in room supply in the regions against 2013, and 4% in London. It was interesting that BDO recently published a report, and in actual fact, Edinburgh beat London for hotel room occupancy rates over the last 3 months, which is quite an interesting metric. Price Waterhouse remain cautiously optimistic. Don't you love consultants? You're desperate for business and dragging it in from all different angles, and Price Waterhouse are cautiously optimistic. Good. But it is early days, and while the gross domestic product starts to grow, we'll start to see hotel revenues improve. Many say that it's getting back to the 2007 position. I still believe we're in a flat market. I still believe we've got some time to go. It may be because I'm in Wales and Wales is 1 year behind everybody else, I don't know. But certainly I've seen that. Quite a lot of new supply, new entrants into the market. Lots of boutique budget hotels, apartment hotels entering the market, bringing the budget end, which many of the regional hotels seem to be in under increasing competition. So, in general, outlook very positive. It can only get better. And now the idea is, having gone through those lean years, how do we make the most of the business that's likely to run through our doors in the coming years? Well, there's 2, 3, 4 things that I'm going to talk about. And 2 of them I think are fundamental. 2 of them I put into the webinar in order to get some feedback on the approaches. The first one is reputational management, and it's a hot topic, has been a hot topic for the last few years. As many of you as know about TripAdvisor and have been at the very horrible end of some miserable reviews and been unable to wind them out. You know that once those reviews are on your site, it affects your business. I read an article in Cornell University Press, and it was saying that on a scale of 1 to 5, if you can increase your score by 1%, then there's an impact on your business. And the impact is you can increase the odds of being booked by 13.5%. You can increase your room price by 8%. And you can maintain a good probability of purchase, i.e. market share, as a result of improved reputational management. Now, to me, that says it all. we all know that we have to improve and provide excellent service. But when you actually see it and it actually hits your bottom line, I think that's when it becomes really important and not something that you can just pay lip service to. So there's 3 ways really that reputational management can influence revenues. You can maximise your RevPAR and average daily rates. You can optimise your online distribution revenue as more and more people read positive reviews about your particular establishment. And you can improve your conversion rates on your website. The reality is, we all know, we all do it. We all got iPads and intelligent phones where we can go and do a quick check on a hotel status, reviews, etc. before actually going in to book it. There's 8 strategies for improving your reputational management. They're fairly obvious, I must admit. To do them all at the same time, keep all the balls in the air, is also quite tricky. But just as an aide-memoire, we'll quickly go through them. Provide truly remarkable service, number 1. If you can do that, your guests are going to be happy. If you can do it on a consistent basis, and we know how difficult it is to do it on a consistent basis, but it really is important. Stay true to your brand. We are a country hotel. We're not a country house hotel. We're not a big fancy mansion. We're a very straightforward country hotel. Stay true to the brand and people know what they're going to get. Third one is be refreshingly honest. It works for me, I must admit. At one stage I could make up a story about why a room wasn't ready or why a meal hasn't been cooked particularly well, but in actual fact I think it's best to get it out in there and as nice as possible explain what the issues are. Mobilise the team, absolutely vital. Get everybody on board. From the housekeeper to the pot wash to the guy who cuts the grass, everybody matters. Have strong core values. Make sure everybody's aware of what the values of the hotel are. Make sure that you implement them and your guests see that. Do it with passion every day. My goodness me, that's hard work. Some days we get it just right, other days we don't. But hopefully, if all the team is behind you, when you're down, they're up. Offer traditional values. I think it's absolutely true. We're offering, in our particular case, good value for money, food and accommodation. People expect that. And in fact demand that. Number 8 is manage escalation. There are many ways to do this, but probably the worst way is not to do anything. If you know you've got a problem with a guest, I think you're best to address it head on. If they don't like the room and you're forcing them to take the room, then you just know you're going to run into difficulty. So I would always err on finding out what the issues are first, encouraging customers if they've got an issue to come and talk to you, and try and get them resolved. Problems do happen, it's how well you address them that's important. So, some takeaways from reputational management and the need to manage it better. The social web provides guests insights that can be turned into actions across an organisation. Well, what that means is that there are more and more systems out in the market today which can gather sentiment analysis on things that people are saying about your hotel. It may be Facebook, it may be Twitter, it may be Pinit or whatever. It could be TripAdvisor or Booking.com. You need to collect that information together to understand what people are saying about the hotel. They may not see a bad review on TripAdvisor, but someone puts something on a social site which can be just as damning. Getting proactive feedback can significantly improve guest experience. I think that's true of while people are in the hotel, and also proactively responding to reviews. We're working with a company called RiskPro, and they have got a global review index, which is classed as a leading barometer of online guest satisfaction. It's a kind of benchmark you can use to see how well you're doing against your competitors. And really importantly, the impact of social analytics plays a key role in revenue management. You need to understand what people are saying about your hotel, because you can improve your room rate by 8%. You can improve the opportunity to sell a room by 13%. So there's some real revenue impacts, and I encourage anybody that's not looked into this in some detail to do so. The second R I want to talk about is revenue management. Price Waterhouse published a study in the United States that said that automated revenue management systems can increase revenues in the hotel industry by between 4 and 7%. I think that 4 and 7% is low. But what it's saying is that if you have a good reputational management system, you can get an increase of 7% on your revenue. And if you can get an increase of 7% on your revenue by revenue management systems, and you can get an increase of X percentage on your reputational management, that has to be something that you would want to do. The facts are that there is a market for revenue management across the world. 90% of hotels don't have an automated revenue management system. Lots of people go rate checking and checking what your competitors are doing, looking at Booking.com, but it's not a proper revenue management system. Now, we know no one likes change, and the approach to revenue management which we're proposing, and this is from a company called Price Match, I think is a revolutionary approach, and certainly one that I understand fully can really assist in improving your revenue, improving the valuation of the hotel. There's 3 myths you need to be aware of. It's complex. It's not. It's inaccurate. It certainly isn't. And it's time consuming. Well, I'll tell you what, if you do revenue management manually, then I absolutely agree it's complex, inaccurate and time consuming. If you take an automated approach to it, then it certainly isn't. Now, the price match model that we've been using is based on 5 principles. It can take historical information up to 3 years back from your existing PMS system, and it provides you with a 90-day rolling forecast. It introduces rate forecasts from OTAs and your competitors. It estimates the likely demand for room, and then estimates the optimal price path for a particular period. As each day goes by on the rolling 90-day forecast, it adjusts prices based on internal and external factors. It could be there's a football match, it could be there's bad weather conditions or whatever. So this model is an econometric model which takes information from your existing system, takes information from online travel agents, combines that information together, provides a 90-day forecast. And it's in real time, and it's adjusted as information is passed to it. It's a very democratic system in as far as, at the end of the day, the model proposes a price. You can see what your competitors are offering. You can see how the take-up is on a particular rate on a particular day. And you can decide how you want to use that information. There's a little quote here, and I think in essence, by understanding the price sensitivity of your business and your published rates, you're now in a much more intelligent position because your rates are based on analytics rather than gut feel or rule of thumb. Rate optimization will keep intelligent hotels from being dragged into constant price wars with their less analytically savvy competitors. I absolutely believe this, and I think there's a great opportunity for hotels to really take advantage of this and improve their revenue. The next thing I want to touch on is Trip Connect, and as many of you will have done, you'll have received your July invoices from your channel managers. We're a small hotel. I use 11 channels. The main channel I use is booking.com on my own website. And I recently received a very large bill for booking.com. It did focus the mind. I started to look at Trip Connect, and although the jury's still out, it is a competitor to OTAs. And the combination of being part of a premier partner with TripAdvisor, which we are, and using this Trip Connect facility can help or reduce the dependency on OTAs. It's a pay-per-click model. If anybody has ever used AdWords, and we have, and we've lost money using them, I must admit, then you'll be familiar with the concept. The thing you need to have is any hotel, bed and breakfast, campsite, whatever, you can use Trip Connect. It basically brings customers who are looking at TripAdvisor, maybe for reviews, etc., brings them to your hotel, and based upon how much your budget is, depends on whether customers will click through and then click into your website. So the first one of the criteria is you need to have your own website connected through a channel manager and approved by TripAdvisor. You need to sign up as a premium partner. I think ours costs £119 per month. For that, you get access to Trip Connect. And as many as you probably see now, when you go on to TripAdvisor and you're looking at the best price for a particular hotel, if your hotel's on there with a web booking engine, then it stands out. It stands out from the rest of the channels. So the idea is that you click through into your particular website. The good thing is TripAdvisor, surprisingly, are making a real effort to try and reduce the cost of booking a room. The bad news is it's on a pay-per-click model, and depending on whether you're familiar with those, depends on whether you could use it or not. I think it's a useful product to look at. I think it's a useful alternative to OTAs. I don't think it's going to replace them. The last section I wanted to touch on before we have a look at this roadmap is a thing called Daily Deal databases. Some of you will love them, some of them you will hate them, but I think they're here to stay, and I think there is a route and a position for them in the market. The pros are that they can fill occupancy gaps at certain times of the year. So, last year we ran a big campaign in February. We actually had more people staying in our hotel in 2 weeks in February than we had in 2 weeks in July. Admittedly, they were very low margin, but there was a turnover. And the other thing that it did is it pushed cash into our business quickly when we needed it. So, dependent on the way daily deal databases work, I think Amazon pay 100% in 10 days. KGB or NCrowd or whatever it is, they pay 70% in 10 days and 30% in 90 days. Groupon pay as people utilise the facility. They all kind of work on the same basis, of course. You take a room rate, you cut it in half, you give them 20% and you take the rest, or words to those effect. The thing is, though, you can ram cash into your business quickly. It can be particularly important if you've got a VAT return to pay or something of the like. The knock-on effect is it can improve your review ratings. People, and we do that. We treat people, everybody the same that walks through the door. If they like the look of our hotel, if they think they've got good value for money, they will put a good review on. That helps, as we know. Although we don't get the direct rate improvement from those particular customers, it allows us to improve our rates on customers who are actually coming to the hotel and paying full price. The other thing that daily deal databases do, it allows you to piggyback on the back of big campaigns. Our average daily hit rate on our website, I don't know, is about 120. When we're running a big campaign with daily deal databases, it can jump to 800. Now, what happens is a kind of runoff as people see it and the deal ends. And if you run the same deal immediately afterwards, only do it on your own, then you can catch up quite a lot of those customers. You can catch quite a lot of those customers. It also helps you build a database yourself, and you can run deals yourself, and we've done this quite successfully. The deal is it's £90 for 2 days. There's no cancellation fee. You pay up front, and that's worked quite well. So there's some really positive things about it, as it turns out. I mean, especially when you look at how much money you're paying on marketing and website optimization and AdWords, etc. Sometimes I think, well, although we're taking a bit of a hit on it, we're actually, we're bringing people into the hotel and getting churn. The cons are, it's pitiful margins, absolutely pitiful. It sometimes has a bit of a lingering effect as well. We ran one beginning of the year, and we were still getting folks coming through in September, and it's like it just dragged it on. So I think you make them very short and sharp campaigns. The myth is that people you can upsell people with food and drink and upgrades. Well, I'm afraid I haven't seen a great deal of that. People have to say people do eat at our hotel because we've got good reviews on food, but it's not necessarily an upsell as such. So daily deal databases, you might love them or like them. There's some good parts and bad parts. Now, they were the kind of 4 subjects I wanted to cover on rules to improve your RevPAR, and in particular reputation and revenue management being the key ones. The next section I want to talk about is a roadmap of how you might achieve a particular subject. The final area that I want to cover on the webinar is a thing called a technology roadmap. Many of you may have heard about the revolution that's going on in technology because of the cloud, or what's more commonly known as software as a service. Basically, new entrants into the market can offer very sophisticated technology without having PCs or laptops on your desk, at a fraction of the cost that traditional players could offer the system. And this has brought in some very interesting technology which has enabled smaller businesses to actually implement systems which very large organisations in the past could afford. But now affordability is there as a result of the cloud technology. And this is a roadmap that Bruce put together, and we've been working with ADMAS for probably about 9 years. And initially we started off by implementing a back office system which was called Xero. And if you haven't heard of Xero, it's definitely worthwhile having a look at. This is a superb accounting system. We replaced our Sage system with Xero. It's a very flexible product. One of the things that we noticed is that we can do our bank reconciliations in a matter of minutes, whereas at one stage on Sage it used to take accountants days and days and cost an awful lot of money. Now, automated reconciliation of a bank account, absolutely very simple. If you look to the left-hand side of the screen as well, you'll see a thing called Receipt Bank. Well, Receipt Bank is, again, a very clever piece of technology. It's helping you go paperless. It basically integrates with Xero. It allows you to scan in any bill. So long as you've set up the system correctly, you can scan in a bill and it can automatically update Xero with that information. We have a link in with a payroll system. We also use Dropbox for delivering files. And this gave us a good base for moving forward. And we then implemented a PMS system called Avon Data Systems, as it was, and that was quite an integrated system. We had it built as a client server. It costs £5,000 or £6,000 for the equipment, and another £10,000, £11,000 for the software, and then 20% every year. And every time anything new came out, channel manager, integration of pricing, EPOS systems, whatever, always an increase in price, always an increase in maintenance. So while we thought we'd got a good system, we realised that we were paying an exceptionally high amount of money for it, and it didn't integrate with Xero. We came across Hotel Logics, and the first thing that struck us is that one, it's a cloud-based system, so cost-wise it's very cost-effective. Two, has a very deep integration with Xero, one of the only PMS systems in the market today that have that. Now, Xero is a world-beating product. It's going to outstrip sales of Sage if it's not already done so. So its integration with Hotel Logics was very important to us. The other thing that we noticed, and in fact many people do, is that with our old PMS system we're paying channel management fees and a web booking button fee separate. Within Hotel Logics it's integrated as part of their offering. So you're not paying additional channel management fees. It's got an integration into Trip Connect. Again, one of the few PMS systems to have that. If we look on the top, we've got unlimited EPOS capabilities, and the system also enables you to link into the GDS system, which is the Global Distribution Systems, which can get you in front of very large travel agents. We've got an integration with our revenue management solution, Price Match. That's the press release has just been released on that. Of course, to complete this initial roadmap, we'll be looking to put in a reputational management system. The important thing about this screen is that it doesn't matter where you are on it or what you've got, just know where you want to be. And we can help in that. I mean, we at ADMAS are certainly more than interested to pop down and talk to anybody about what our experiences are in implementing these types of systems, what we think the benefits are, how we think it's going to change your business, how it's going to change perhaps your staffing profiles, etc. So I'd encourage anybody that is interested in taking this further to contact either Hotel Logics or ADMAS, and we'll be more than happy to help out. Could be time to consider change. If it is, call us, call Hotel Logics, call ADMAS. Hotel Logics is already installed in maybe 70 countries. If there's any now questions, now's a good time to put them forward. I've got Emma collecting the questions on her computer. We're going to look at them and then respond accordingly. If there isn't any further questions, I'd like to close the seminar at this stage and look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.